Today, we're going to discuss the top 10 Black Swan go-to labels and when to use them. Now let's dive in. Number 1 Black Swan go-to label is, it looks like something just crossed your mind. Number 2 is, it seems like you're uncomfortable with that. And number 3 is, it seems like you're hesitant. Now, these are broadly categorized into being used for what scientists would call affect shifts. What's an affect shift? Change in body language, change in tone of voice. Somebody looks down, somebody looks up, somebody looks to the side. Affect shifts. Now, the tricky thing about this is, you don't know for sure what their change in body language actually means. Like, they could be lying, they could be uncomfortable because they've given you the best deal they already could. There's a whole variety of reasons. What you want to do is find out what's behind the change in the affect shift, the change in the body language, the change in the tone of voice. It's pretty much like finding out what's behind the question. Before you proceed, you want to make sure that you know. So the first 3 labels are for changes in affect shifts. Number 4, it seems like you have a reason for saying that. Or you could give it, it seems like you have a reason for saying that. Notice the 2 different changes in inflection, 2 completely different impacts, 2 different ways to do the same thing. Number 5, very similar label. But instead of for saying that, we're going to focus on their action. It seems like you have a reason for, and then you label the action, doing that. It seems like you have a reason for doing that. We had a contractor one time talking to a subcontractor, says, seems like you have a reason for not finishing the work. Subcontractor didn't finish the work, needs to find out what's going on behind not finishing the work, and so he just hangs a label on the action. Seems like you have a reason for not finishing the work. Now, interestingly enough, any one of these could be mislabels. Mislabels are fine. What did the contractor say when he did what did the subcontractor say when he ended up doing the label, which he was just doing it genuinely? He said, no, really, I don't. That's one of the magic things about labels. Mislabels can give you more information than maybe the label could have in the first place. So this broad category here, the second category for our next couple labels we just did was labeling behavior or statements that you're uncertain of or even that you think might be wrong. So here's what I want you to do so you can reach your full potential as a negotiator. First, go to our website, blackswanltd.com. Now, look over here, put your cursor on resources. Put it there, highlight it, go to free ebooks and guides. We're now in resources. Scroll down. You can see 5 negotiation tactics for dealing with difficult people. Download it now. Click on that. Here's a description of what you get with this guide, and it's free. So yeah, we want your email. We want you to reach your full potential. Put in your first name, your last name, your email address, and click on the stuff that you think is how you can advance, how you're going to get better. You'll be glad you did. Now back to our video. Now, number 6 is a great label to use at impasse, or when you're at loggerheads, or when you can't get past where the 2 of you are, and you don't want to make a concession. You shouldn't make concessions. Don't make concessions. Never split the difference. So here's a label to use when you're at impasse. It sounds like there's nothing I can say to get you to change your mind. Or it sounds like there's nothing I could say to get you to change your mind. Now, this came up in a negotiation. Wasn't the first label that the person using it used. He'd been labeling for a while. He'd been very interactive. He'd been building rapport, been using tactical empathy. So, of course, situation drives strategy. You're at the end of a negotiation. You're an impasse after you've made a great deal of really good effort to try to make the deal work. Last-ditch effort to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. If you've approached with tactical empathy the entire way, it seems like there's nothing I can say to get you to change your mind. What happened in this negotiation? Since it was a genuine effort the entire way, the person on the other side said, no, as a matter of fact, here's what I want. And laid it out and they made the deal. Next, here's a ridiculous one that black swans on our team are using on a regular basis. Very counterintuitive. It's at the opening when someone says to you, how are you today? Of course, it's in a business conversation. They've called you and they said, how are you today? Here's what the super sharp black swans are saying in return. It sounds like you have a place you want to start. That's crazy, right? Yeah. But if they called you, they got a place they want to start. And how are you today is really they're checking to see whether or not you're prepared to start where they want to start. They put preparation into this conversation. So this really cuts to the chase. 2/3 of the time, actually more than that, the other person is relieved and they jump right into it. You've built rapport, you've jumped to the heart of the matter, they're relieved, you saved a massive amount of time. Now, every now and then, somebody really cares how you are today. They care in general. And when they do, they're going to say, all right, we'll get to that. They're going to be nice and friendly about it. But how are you today? Because they really want to know. Then you can exchange those pleasantries. Most of the time, the exchange of pleasantries is just to see if you're ready to get down to business. You can get down to business and be friendly and build rapport all at once. And this is a great way to do that. So that was number 7. Sounds like you have a place you want to start. Next category for when they say the price is too high. This is our 8, number 8, go-to label. It seems like the value's just not there for you. Or it seems like the value's just not there for you. Notice the first one was a downward declaring tone of voice. And the second one was the upward inquisitive, genuinely curious tone of voice. Same words, land completely differently. Feel free to experiment with both. Look, if the price is not right for them, it ain't about price. It's about what they're getting for the price. Don't cut your price. Pivot into the value conversation. Find out what's going on the other side. Use the label. If it's an effective label, if it's accurate, they're going to tell you that it is. If it's a mislabel, then they're just going to test your price. They're going to pivot back, and you're going to know that too. Either way, you shouldn't be cutting your price. You should be making the deal better. That's one of the ways the black swans do this stuff. Next category. Labels for what we refer to as proof of life. What's proof of life? Is there a deal, and is the deal with you? Those are 2 tricky issues. Number 1, they could be doing due diligence. They're not going to give you the deal. Number 2, they could be looking for free consulting. They're not going to do the deal. Number 3, you're the rabbit. They're looking for you to drive the price down on the favorite. You're the fool in the game. If you don't know who the fool in the game is, it's probably you. How do you deal with this? Proof of life. Is there a deal, and is the deal with you? We got 2 great labels for you to use here. This first one, number 9, is kind of a tricky, different way to tee up your label. Instead of it sounds like, it's going to be it doesn't seem, or it doesn't sound. It doesn't sound. Notice the difference in the beginning. So, number 9. It doesn't seem like you're ready to make a commitment. Or, it doesn't seem like you're ready to make a commitment to us. Could be done with an upward inflection. It doesn't seem like you're ready to make a commitment to us. It doesn't seem like you're ready to make a commitment. Again, downward and upward inflection. You get a lot of fake negotiations. There's a fair amount of data out there that says that 20% of your opportunities are fake opportunities. Since we've been teaching proof of life to people in the Black Swan method, we found that the numbers are typically much higher than 20%, may go up as high as 80%. You got to feel it out a little bit. This is an effective label. This is appropriate. You should be prepared to use this label in the first half hour of the first conversation if you're gaining a sense, based on our methodology and teaching, that you might be the fool in the game. This is completely appropriate to do that, and that was number 9. Now, get ready for number 10. Number 10 is, it seems like you're still shopping around. Or, it seems like you're still shopping around. Again, I gave it to you with both of the inflections. And this is one of the values of our YouTube videos. Again, these are appropriate if you're sensing that there's a proof of life issue in the deal. And if they're mislabels and they're not still shopping around, or they're not ready to make a commitment. People love mislabels because it gives them a chance to jump in and correct. No. We're ready to make a commitment. No. We're not shopping around. Mislabels are great at uncovering the truth, because when you mislabel, the urge to correct is overwhelming. It's one of our laws of negotiation gravity. So don't be afraid to mislabel. Now, of course, you're not doing it on purpose. Actually, sometimes people do mislabel on purpose. But there's no problem with mislabeling as long as you're trying to get it right. All right. That was our list of top 10 go-to Black Swan method labels. Now, after you watch this video, the best thing you could do is share it with people that matter to you. Because the people that are on your side, the people that you're collaborating with, they could use the help as well. Make your team stronger. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go as a team.